do this before Sabbath. So I'm gonna do it tonight before Happy Sabbath tomorrow. Um, because Ezekiel, the last live we did, shared about Romans 1, Ezekiel 14, and Psalms 81, and then Isaiah 45 and Romans 9. So check that out, please. Afterwards, the next one that hit me in the chest, and it was after my brother Mark shared what it said. I didn't know the exact chapters though. It's in Lamentations 2 and 3. It's a short book, so we'll read the whole book, see what pops out. And it's one of the times yeah, told me to just open the book, and opened right there, and I broke down crying. And the scary stuff in the scriptures, it's there for a reason. People have to realize that, but the scroll that's sweet in their mouth and bitter in their belly. But before a bunch of people pop in here, because they could just watch it later, I'd like to get a decent amount of rest. But we'll start. If you notice anything, if you're gonna be, if Israel doesn't wake up. So Lamentations chapter 1. How doeth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations, and princess among the provinces. How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction, and because of great servitude she dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none cometh to the solemn feasts. All her gates are desolate, her priests sigh, her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief, her enemies prosper. For Yah hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction, and her miseries, all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy. And none did help her. The adversaries saw her, and did mock at her Sabbaths. Don't want to be doing that. Jerusalem, the true Sabbaths. Don't want to be profaning the Sabbath. It is clear throughout here that it begins at dawn. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backward. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end. Consider your latter end. Deuteronomy 32. We also just seen that in Jeremiah 30. That's a intense chapter. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O yeah, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things. For she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation. All her people sigh. All her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Yah, and consider, for I am become vile. Is it nothing to you, all ye that passeth by? Behold, and see if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith Yah hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and it prevaileth against them. He hath spread a net for my feet, he hath turned me back, he hath made me desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgression is bound by his hand, they are wreathed and come upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fall. Yah hath delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. Yah hath trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men. Yah hath trodden the virgin, the daughter of Judah, as in a winepress. For these things I weep, mine eye runneth down with water, because the Comforter that should relieve my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spreadeth forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. Yah hath commanded concerning Jacob that his adversaries should be round about him, briars and thorns. Yah hath commanded concerning Jacob that his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a menstruous woman among them. Yah is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrows. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and mine elders gave up the ghost in the city, while they sought their meat to relieve their souls. Behold, O Yah, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled, mine heart is turned within me, for I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword bereaveth, at home there is as death. They have heard that I sigh. There is no comfort. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my wickedness. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Despise not the chastisement. Did you hear anyone in that? Did you hear anything that stood out in that one, Adriana?
Yeah,
Did you hear anything that stood out in that one?
he was given to his enemies.
Yeah, oh, the chastisement
Yeah,
part
that
in
part was like,
Jeremiah, because he will not leave Jacob altogether unpunished,
yeah,
and despise not the chastisement. And you learn to see. I should read that after all this if there's enough battery. Um, there's promises to those who weep, sigh, and cry over things being done on this toilet bowl earth. How hath Yah covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Yah hath swallowed it up, all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoureth round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. Yah was an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her places. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. This is a lot of this is actually quoting Jeremiah 30.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I hope I got time to read that. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his palaces of the assembly. Yah hath caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. Yah hath cast off his altar, he hath abhorred his sanctuary, he hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of Yah as in the day of a solemn feast. Yah hath purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line, he hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languish together. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from Yah. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fail with tears, my bowels are troubled, my liver is poured upon the earth, for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, where is corn and wine? When they swooned as the wounded in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. What things shall I take to witness for thee? What things shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? For thy breach is great like the sea. Who can heal thee? Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. Yah hath done that which he had devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down and hath not pitied, and he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He hath set the horn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto Yah, O wall of the daughter of Zion, let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night. In the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of Yah. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street. Behold, O Yah, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the woman eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of Yah? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called as it in a solemn day my terrors round about, so that in the day of Yah's anger none escaped nor remained. Those that I have swaddled and brought up hath mine enemy consumed. That's this part right here was the one that Mark was talking about. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of Yah. Lift up thine hands toward him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street. Or the hope that even though a lot of people are going to decide to persist in their idolatry and everything, there's still going to be some of their children will still be saved, hopefully.
Yeah.
And pray for the children. Weep, sigh, and cry for the things being done in this toilet bowl earth. So this is the Bible is great to read all the time for reproof, for overcoming strongly entrenched things, um, those being covertly persecuted. This is, this could seem like scary stuff. There's hope because go to Deuteronomy 28 if you've been through some of that. Praise Yah that Yahushua was sent as mediator, and At some point, those curses will be placed on the enemies. You don't rejoice over the fall of your enemy. All right. Hope in the midst of affliction, chapter 3. I am the man that has seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me is he turned. He turneth his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin hath he made old. He hath broken my bones. He hath builded against me and compassed me with gall and travail. He hath set me in dark places, as they that be dead of old. He hath hedged me about, that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy. Also, when I cry and shout, he shutteth out my prayer. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stone. He hath made my paths crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. He hath caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He also he hath also broken my teeth with gravel stones. He hath covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forgat prosperity, and I said, my strength and my hope is perished from. Yeah. Remember mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul hath them still in remembrance and is humbled in me. This I recall to mind, therefore have I hope. It is of Yah's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Yah is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. Yah is good unto him that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. Remember that in regards to the feasts. Um, Deuteronomy 12 and 16 is not feasting time yet. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yah. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust, if so be there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For Yah will not cast off forever. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause. Yah approveth not. Who is he that saith, and it come to pass, when Yah commandeth it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to Yah. Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto Yah in the heavens. We have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger and persecuted us. Thou hast slain. Thou hast not pitied. Thou hast covered thyself with a cloud, that our prayers should not pass through. Thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare is come upon us, desolation and destruction. Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. So these are kind of things like coming for Babylon, USA. Mine eye trickleth down and ceaseth not without any intermission, till Yah look down and behold from heaven. Mine eye affecteth mine heart because of all the daughters of my city. Mine eye chased me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over mine head. Then I said, I am cut off. This sounds like it's talking about Yahusha.
Right there.
Yeah. I called upon thy name, O Yah, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drewest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidst, Fear not. O Yah, thou hast pleaded the cause of my soul. Thou hast redeemed my life. O Yah, that thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O yeah, and all their imaginations against me, the lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day. Wow, listen to that one. That reminds me of the one in Deuteronomy 28 of the blasting and mildew. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day. Yeah, read the Bible, targeted individuals. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O yeah, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of Yah. Chapter 4. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street, the precious sons of Zion comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pictures, the work of the hands of the potter? Even the sea monsters drew out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Her Nazarites were purer than snow, they were whiter than milk, they were more ruddy in body than rubies, their polishing was of sapphire, their visage is blacker than a coal, they have not known in the streets, their skin cleaveth to their bones, it is withered, it is become like a stick. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the field, of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Yah hath accomplished his fury, he hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets, they have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean, depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there. The anger of Yah hath divided them, he hath no more regard them. You make me laugh at the wrong time walking and farting like that. Okay. I didn't expect that. Did you bring that power bank thing? It's a yeah. Adriana. This is solemn. It is. This is solemn. This is solemn, like life and death stuff, and you're walking away farting a bunch of Mexican food. Okay, let's go back a bit. For the for the sins of her for the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean, depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there. The anger of Yah hath divided them, he will no more regard them. They respected not the person of the priests, they favored not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Holy jumpins! Adriana, did you hear that part?
No, what happened?
Listen to this. Come here. Listen to. Okay, hold on. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness.
I experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we like left that,
Went through that.
when we left the city and went.
Yeah.
The-
Scripture's right.
Yeah.
about that, yeah.
Oh wow. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yah was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Remember, O Yah, what is come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hand. We gat our bread with the perils of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and maids in the cities of Judah. Princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. The joy of our heart is ceased, our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. For this our heart is faint, for these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Yah, remainest forever, thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Yah, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. But thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. That sounds heavy. The world wants to act like such things could not happen again. Oh, I think I got time to read Jeremiah 30. I want to read 34 too. I think I got time for that too. I'll read Isaiah 34 and Jeremiah 30. Well, we got it for battery. We're good for a bit. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. The fig tree casting her untimely figs when summer is near. Learn the parable of the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yah is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night or day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Whoa. Woe to Babylon, USA. Like I said, that the scary stuff in the scriptures is there for a reason. And it's a warning that has to go out. People want to get right with Yah. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in all her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he shall cast the lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line, that they shall possess it forever. From generation to generation shall they dwell therein. All right, let's read Jeremiah 30. It was quoted in Lamentations. As I've been chewing on this today. All right, probably got time for this, and then catch some Z's. And happy Sabbath. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For the days come, saith Yah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith Yah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve the Lord their God, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith Yah, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. That part's important. Speaking of chastisement, don't despise the correction of Yah. For thus saith Yah, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Thus saith Yah, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. And out of them shall thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry, and I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all them that oppress them, and their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I'll cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. For who is this that engaged his heart to approach unto me, saith Yah? And ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. Behold, the whirlwind of Yah goeth forth with fury, a continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked. The fierce anger of Yah shall not return until he hath done it, and until he hath performed the intents of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it. And if you're serious about considering your latter end, please read the new Song of Moses in Deuteronomy 32. And if you find yourself in tribulation, please remember to read Deuteronomy 4. Please just go and read both of those, Deuteronomy 4 and Deuteronomy 32, and just read and read and read and read this thing. Keep your sword sharp. We live in war times, and the warning has to go out. Judgment is established before it does, and woe to the world. All right, to be on to share more gleanings soon. Happy Sabbath. Don't forsake the gathering.